the books. The Mets advance in what might be the best game I've ever seen after the last best game I've ever seen.
I don't know what's going on with these Mets. I don't know that they're like the cardiac kids that they can come down to the wire like this, but literally someone will die before the next Mets comeback because they put it down to the final at bat. And I was talking shit about Pete all night.
Bro, the whole world was
stranded in the on deck circle because he did not want to see a single pitch. And the second someone got on base, I was like, well,
bro, all it takes is one. All it takes is one. That's baseball, Susan.
Yep.
That home run, dude, that home run saved the season. Could end up being a team of destiny home run. That shit might have gotten Pete Alonso $100 million more, I swear to God. That might have that has zeros attached to that home run because I legitimately was like, I think this might be it for Pete. When he dropped that pop-up, if any runs came in to score on that, I was going to be like, that's going to be the last image of Pete Alonso's career here. And he steps up and goes Oppo Taco for a 3-run bomb against a guy who has filthy shit on a night where literally nobody else. It was strictly Francisco Lindor. 2 hits, 1 walk, literally the only person doing anything. It was like someone has got to contribute some way.
The only impact is Winger getting hit with 2 pitches, and then he turns around and motherfucks him again. I love a villain on our
breaks
side.
It into pieces. It's like fucking stone cold, man. Dude, the fact that Pete Alonso.
I need a Coors Light. You just made me want to get a Coors Light.
Get the Blue Mountains, baby. Pete Alonso was so cold for so long, except for that series with the Phillies where he stepped up when Lindor was out. He has been so cold that it was colder than the Blue Mountains, bro. He's colder than the Blue Mountains. And I kept thinking to myself, this has to be seeping into him mentally.
Yes.
Like there's just no man can shake this off because he just is not himself. And then just to think, you put yourself in that man's shoes. You put himself in his field of view, and he sees this place rocking, and he knows that it's all on him, and it's the same fucking thing that Lindor just did. These guys are saying to themselves, the whole world needs me to hit a home run right now. And I haven't done so in so fucking long. I haven't even sniffed it in so fucking long. Even the base hits he was getting were like bloops.
And one base hit in this entire thing was a broken bat.
And then it was like that was opposite field. You need a certain amount of strength to just pop it like that. And it was a line drive.
Kevin, in the post game, they said he's literally never allowed an opposite field home run. Ever. They were like, he hasn't allowed a home run.
You know what that is, my friend?
Innings, and he's never done an oppo.
Destiny.
It's actually starting to feel like there's just
Kyle. I was running through the Braves game because when the Mets are we know how the Mets operate. When they're bad, they're bad. And when they're good, they actually usually make a decent run in the playoffs. But those runs in the playoffs, they've had some dramatic moments. The series against the Dodgers brings me to, very stressful, and beating Kershaw and Greinke. And there's definitely been some moments for sure. But a lot of it was like sweeping the Cubs. And when we were good, and we were rolling. I remember beating the fuck out of the Cardinals in 2000. Like when they're in, they usually just play ball. And we really haven't had, in this generation, of course, you go to 86 and there was just madness and luck and heroics and dramatics. But for our generation, that Lindor home run was like, we really haven't had anything like that. And then Pete goes and does it again a couple days later. There's the big fella
from the darkness,
molded by it. He was born in it. How we doing, big man?
Blue Mountains for all, and to all a good night. I was relieved on Monday. I'm happy right now. I am legitimately happy.
Joy.
I still don't believe that happened, just like I don't believe Monday happened. But we are here because you got to believe. almost just died on the road here. We're taking the train back to Grand Central. Magic, dude. I don't even know. ESPN is the worst broadcast of all time. They don't show the bullpen ever. I could go on a rant about that. Magic, OMG vibes. Tank is a believer now. It's the up is down, left is right. Cats and dogs living together. It's amazing.
I mean, it's destiny, dude. It's destiny. Like, and here, where were you guys at? I mean, I think we were all in the same boat. But I turned to my mother, and I wasn't on the stream. I watched with my kids and my mom tonight. Here's what I legitimately thought. You know how we're the cicadas, right? This is a morbid thought, but I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. I'm going to tell you the God's honest truth. We're the cicadas, right? Every 7 years this happens. We don't make it for 7 years at a clip, basically. Mm-hmm. And I was sitting here thinking, my kids are 7 and 8, and my mom is getting older. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen with her or them. The next time this happens, my kid might be 14 and 13, and they don't want to sit and watch with dad. And I was like, I got to make sure they're Mets fans. Half their family are Yankee fans. I need some core memories of happiness with the Mets. And so I was like, I want to be at that stream so bad, but I got to do this for the family. And then, of course, the game is the worst, most boring game in the world that the kids don't want to watch. I had to put them to sleep. And then in that ninth inning, I turned to my mom and I just said to her, I don't think it's going to happen. Like, I don't want to be doom and gloom, but I also don't want to get my hopes up. I just don't think it's going to happen. We've been so lifeless. Lindor is the only guy who's had anything. I can't see it happening. And the fact that he's up again, Lindor is there to start it all. And it happened. It's just 40 years of it never happening. And then it happened 2 days ago and then again today. And it's like, is this going to keep happening? Because I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can keep doing it.
They keep waiting till we actually, every fiber of our beings, like, well, this is when it's over. Like, they've done it all season, going back to, we're done by May. It's crazy. And go back on the stream. It's right there. We said in like the 7th inning, we're like doing the math, and we're like, Pete's going to come up with a man on, and it's going to matter. And it's going to be the moment that basically defines his like Met career, for lack of a better term. And I said, it's probably going to be Lindor gets on because he was the only guy getting on basically the whole game. And then boom, there, I don't know if you saw it on the stream. I said to Tank, Tank, if he hits a home run, bygones are bygones. You cannot complain about him at all the rest of this nightmare season. He said, yup, boom, there we go. And Pete went from public enemy number 1 to beloved. I'd say he's number 2 right now behind Francisco, who does nothing but exactly what you need from a superstar player. And the Lindorks are dead, buried, muerte.
In the dirt, fucking gone. Toe tag, zip them up, body bag, goodbye. And you know what else to tell you about Pete Alonso? You know what else to tell you about the polar bear? By my count, off the top of my head, I think at least 3 times saved Lindor's ass on some low throws and some picks out of the dirt. That would have been a whole different situation.
Definitely.
Not only did Pete do it with that bat, but there was a couple times with the glove as well, where really at the end of the day, shout out to Nemo. You got to give him credit for keeping that probably going. But at the end of the day, it was just those 2 guys, and that's how it was supposed to be. And we were not getting the 1-2 punch of Lindor and Pete all season, but when it mattered, those 2 guys put the fucking team on their back. Shout out to Quintana. Let me tell you this much. Great start. He is awful to watch as a nervous fan.
Yeah.
Because it's all the junk, it's all these sweeping breaking balls and nibbling around the plate. And there's no power pitching. There's no, we're going to blow you away. So every pitch is like,
it was huge that we weren't giving them free bases, because when he's off and he's not getting those swings and misses, like, that could be a totally different ball game.
Totally.
Say what you want about them pulling him in the 6th. In retrospect, it was the wrong decision, but like, we wanted Buto literally on short rest the day before. Like, it is what it is, and you're watching the slop and slow the entire night, and then you got a guy throwing 95. He just speeds up the bats back to back, but like, the fact that the team can get off the mat like that,
listen,
it's insane.
It happens once, you're lucky. Right. It happens twice, you start to think to yourself, we are never out of it. Like, any game, any lead, I don't care if we're down to our final strike, anything can happen. And that is a scary team when you start to believe that.
You know who's scared right now?
Oh,
Phillies. Who's got to come to Citi Field for at least a game.
Yep.
That place is going to be insane. They had a large party in Citi Field. Citi going nuts. Just touching it on the boom.
Did you see it tonight when they hit the home run? It was bonkers.
Yes. Oh, those, I really want to go to one of those. I almost want to go to one of those more than the game. I feel like the game to watch is like all the sickos, you know, it's like the real diehards who are there. I got to give it to Mendoza, got to give it to Diaz coming in what, the 7th it was, whatever, and getting those outs. And then I will hand up. I thought Peterson was a horrible idea. I'm thinking to myself, starting pitchers sometimes need to, ease into the game. You need to get, I'll give up a hit here or there, a walk here or there. I'm settling in. I'm thinking to myself, Garrett's, the Rhino, who are we going to do? I see Peterson. I was ready to fucking jump out the window. Boom, bingo, bango. Put it in the books, no problem. They've been pushing all the right buttons. Everything's going the right way for them.
I think we need to get a meek Phil cry counter from this point forward, because I don't know how many times he cried on stream tonight, but it was at least 3.
No,
I mean,
I said on stool streams, I said we have a chance of precipitation tonight. Meek Phil's eyes. Don't know if they'll be happy tears or sad tears, but I think we have a good chance of some sort of tears coming out. And sure enough,
I cannot. It's like that should have been a sweep. Well, you can't say should have been a sweep, but I think if they left in Stanek, he had thrown 11 pitches, 9 of them for strikes. He was cruising. I really think he would have got through the 8th. The 9th probably would have been a whole fucking, show and dance with Diaz. But, I went into the series saying, whatever happens from here, I'm just happy we made it. The Lindor moment was mwah. Then when we were this close to sweeping and didn't, then I was like back to being angry and neurotic and like, fuck, it was right there. And then to be as dead as we were. I mean, we made Tobias look like a fucking Hall of Famer, dude. I couldn't believe when they took him out. I mean, it ended up working out for them, but like, I was like, you got to be kidding me. I think he was at like 65 pitches or something. Like, what are you doing? He is eating us for lunch. And then to get to their closer, that changeup is disgusting. He has got the filthiest shit, and all it takes is a guy who's 0 for a billion to just give me a little boom. That's baseball, Susan.
Did you see Frank's walking with Mad Dog Russo coming up? Not yet. And they did the behind the scenes talking about tonight's game. And the only thing he harped on, Mad Dog, is that the Mets better make sure they have a lead before that guy gets in the game, because he's going to sit them down 1, 2, 3. And I was like,
holy shit, man.
Couldn't have asked for better timing.
And the Brewers bullpen is, always their strength. The Mets bullpen is always their weakness. And I thought to myself, between Maton and then tonight, like that's just always going to be the story. It's just always going to be that the bullpen comes to bite us in the ass. And it didn't. Now, here's the thing. How much destiny and fate can one team fucking have? At some point, we got to get outs. At some point, we got to play a clean baseball game. I mean, unless every fucking night we're going to hit a miraculous home run, sooner or later, we're going to have to win these games in a more realistic way. But, man, to have a real series now, 5-game set against Philly, who we just played and looked good against, the fact that we're going to go Atlanta, we fucking, indirectly put them in their grave. Goodbye. See you later. And now we get to face the Phillies. I mean,
hey, Kyle.
I'm happy to get out of the ballpark because it felt like we were crushing baseballs that were going nowhere.
Yeah.
And they get to go to the friendly confines of Citizens Bank Park. Like, I'm hoping for a lot of home runs, and I'm hoping that was Pete waking up from hibernation.
Yeah, a hot Pete Alonso would not be bad right now. I would not hate a hot Pete Alonso.
That would be perfectly fine.
That'd be Daniel Murphy 2015. Just fucking
Derek type run
and carry them across.
I mean, they didn't have a home run this whole series until then, right? And it was like, and I said, I hope I have it on camera because I was recording myself. I was like, the numbers always even out. Water always finds its level. Somebody's got to hit one on the 60th at bat of the series, and there it is. I mean,
if Pete's water finds its level after the last month, it's going to be a tidal wave because he owes us like 17 home runs in the next 2 weeks.
Tsunami coming in, dude. Bro, I was when I put my kids to bed, I was so like dejected because they were like, tell us in the morning if we won or not. They were mad. I was putting them to bed. I was like, it's a school night, kids. We got it. Like, and I was like, I'm gonna have to wake them up and just be like, nope, it's all over. And now, like, it's like the sort of shit you remember for the rest of your life, man. I'm like, oh my God.
And I know I'm going to do the same with AJ. And Pete's always been his guy because he bought the polar bear when we went to the game together. So he's always been an Alonso guy. And he's going to be like, AJ, you want to see what happened last night? I probably won't even tell him. And then we just see that. He's just
That's a great idea. Maybe we'll just play the replay back. Yeah. So when I was watching, my mom decides to crazy move. She decides to FaceTime my brother like before anything happened. She was just like, let's all watch the 9th inning together. I was like, are you out of your fucking mind? This is just like, no, everybody's been in their spot. Actually, maybe we needed to switch the juju up, but I didn't know what was going on. She's like, hi, how you doing? My nieces and nephews are in the background because they're on West Coast time. It's all chirping. Part of me's like, everybody, it's a serious moment. And my brother said something like, okay, there we go. And he was like a little bit ahead of me. And I said to him, okay, if he's ahead, we gotta hang up. We gotta hang up. I can't do this. And then it was boom, boom, double play, game over. And I went from like, hang up on him to being like, no, we did it. I mean, I am a neurotic fucking disaster right now. This is going to fry me for the next, if we have more of this coming, I won't recover till like February.
I love Lindor's like the team, except when that double play ball was hit him and he's like, fuck everybody. I'm taking this myself and ending this right now.
Putting this in anybody else's hands.
Head back and all.
Dude, I was like, there's no way in hell Jackson Chourio does not come up with the tie as a tying run.
Yep.
And you have to just sweat as a lefty's pitching to him. I think he's going to park it over the right field fence like he did every other time this fucking
That
season.
20 years old, just a nightmare. Haunt me for life, dude. And then I loved Lindor doing the post game with ESPN. They were doing the team picture, and he was like, I got to go, guys. I got to go. Like, if I'm not talking to Gelbsy or Gary, Keith, and Ron, like, fuck you guys, I got to go. And then he ran over there, and he starts fist pumping with Iglesias, and all the guys love him. And I'm thinking to myself, this is like fucking Gladiator. This is like Braveheart. Like follow me to freedom, motherfuckers. Like, let's go. That guy is a god to the fans, but in that locker room, he must be the fucking man. And I know Pete's been cold, but he can probably roll in there and give that pump up speech now too. And it's like, hey, if I can do this as bad as I've been, like, anything's possible. Let's go.
And shout out Jesse Winker for being the fly in the ointment yet again to another fan base. They hate that motherfucker down there. Like,
the booze. Ooh, I'll tell you what, the Brewers crowd did not impress me the first couple games. It was like, these guys are just kind of blind. They were alive tonight. They were loud tonight. And the boos were raining down on Winker. And when he's fucking smashing that helmet like a wrestler, oh my God, he is unreal, dude.
Diaz casual 80 pitches in 2 games. That's probably good.
Yeah, I know.
Like,
I was wondering if they were going to try to leave him in, and then I saw he was at 40 pitches.
That's what Phil was saying. He's like, I think I'd roll with Diaz here. Peterson's not used to it. And he was saying how Budo, you always have to give him 2 days. If you don't give him 2 days, he stinks. And that's kind of what happened today.
There it was.
Yep.
So
all right, boys, listen, I'm about to lose you here. I'm going to die, and I'm going into, like, the tunnel. So, LFGM, gotta believe.
Tip of the cap, big man. So when do we play next? It's
Saturday.
It's Saturday. So we get a nice a little day off to come back to life, and then we head to Philly. I got another
October baseball. I thought it was first I thought it was Wednesday when I woke up. Then I thought it was Friday. I'm like, I don't have any rhyme or reason. All I know is the Mets play, and that's all it's focused on until
this is one of those, like, clear my month. You know what I mean? Like, cancel everything. I got a month to go here. And I got another
in Philly.
I got another fucking, he's been doing this to me all playoffs. And it's funny. And now it's going to be the real fucking thing, because Shane Gillis keeps calling me for better. Like, when we're down, he calls me and he just giggles on the phone. And when we're up, he's like, hey, man, that was pretty cool. And he's just kind of needling me, but he's also being very genuine about it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh boy, now it's the real fucking thing. Yeah. He called me after the home run. He's like, can you believe this? And I was like, we still have 3 outs, bro. I gotta go. I'm hanging up the fucking phone. Like, no, we're not doing this right now. That that when there was a leadoff single, I turned to my family. I said, if the leadoff man gets on, I may die.
Yeah.
And like the next pitch, he got the fucking hit. I was like,
I shrunk into the couch and I just said to myself, I muttered under my breath, I'm like, don't do this to me. Please don't do this.
And then a double play to end it, like a tailor-made hit right at him. Like just
Are they going to get Shane to do what Stavi did? Because that cursed the O's.
What's that?
They had him do like the whole promotional thing for the Orioles, heading to the playoffs, the pictures and shit. And
you don't want to count your eggs.
Yeah,
man.
They do stuff like that. They did Miles Teller a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like,
get ahead of yourselves. And listen, the Mets. It's like, the Mets are dropping fucking remixes with Pitbull. We could have easily been out of it and looked like a bunch of assholes too. By the way, I don't think that comes out till Friday, so we still are. I don't know if is it tomorrow or next Friday.
I think it's the 11th. Next one.
So we got, I think it would be like game 5 if there is one. So there's still every chance that we're, dropping Mr. Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide 305, and we look like idiots. But I said it, dude. I said it on my video. And I actually, I know this sounds crazy, but I really believe these things. As soon as Dave said that he likes Meek Phil, it's like, we're going to get more of him. Because Dave does not lose when it comes to sports and content. And if Dave wants to shout out Meek Phil, and now all these people are going to come check it out because they're like, what is Dave talking about?
Yeah.
And that means we're going to get more streams. And then Pitbull's like, I'm not losing. I'm Mr. 305. I don't ever lose business-wise. So we know those two guys don't lose. And they're now by accident on our side. Like, is this the way that I could finally get Portnoy?
Yeah.
The deal with the devil to work for me is because he loves Meek the Freak?
We're at the point now, too. He put a future on the Phillies. I'm almost positive.
Oh.
For the World Series. So now it's how much do you love
Meek?
The freaks on the stream?
I mean, we got the biggest freaks in the world. I felt so much FOMO. I mean, I made the impossible choice to do it with the family. But by the way, I'll also never doing that again, because as much as I was like, I need to do this for my kids so they have memories of me, they're just chit-chatting and playing. And I was like, there's playoff baseball going on. At one point, I started to do my pacing. At one point, I walk. I probably do the Kyle walks thing. I walk from maybe the 6th inning on. And my daughter goes, is there something wrong with you? And I said, yes, there is. And she was like, what is it? And I was like, it's not like there's nothing that you can see that's wrong with me. It's all up here, baby girl. Like, there is something wrong with me. I have a mental illness.
The gears are turning.
Yeah. I can't do that again. They're not ready for playoff baseball. I was like, stop talking. Don't worry about that. Stop dancing. Like, stop goof. Just sit down and watch the fucking
I'm at this point, though. I watched the walk-off on stream when you guys did Atlanta. And I was like, okay, I'll go to the next one. And then this one came up, and we had college football show, which I have to do the social for. And I'm like, well, I can't go to the office back. Now it's 2 comebacks like that, and I'm like, I'm never leaving my house.
I don't know if you're allowed to. Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to.
I have to go, which I know I'm not. I'm not leaving my house.
No. I mean, at this point, everybody's got to remember where they were, what they were doing. Frank had the hate rally the other night. What you're talking about. Wear the shirt, get the shirt of destiny. This team, you now got at least another week to rock the OMG and probably a couple more the way things have been going. That shirt right there sums up the whole season of luck and fate and destiny. And it's just, I think most people understand how big of a loser franchise the Mets franchise is. But when I tell you, Pabs texted me, he was like, I think that was the greatest sports moment of my life. He might have even just said that was the greatest moment of my life. and it's not an exaggeration. Yeah. So I need people to understand how infrequently, if ever, these kind of things happen to us. So the fact that we're getting it night after night, game after game is it's unfathomable. So, for all the Mets fans watching, we know how it is. But if you're a new fan or you're just watching the playoffs now because you're like, let me just see what's going on, you have to understand just how improbable all of this is. And I mean this in a genuine way. I am not trolling, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Because we are so often on the other side of this, my genuine condolences to the Brewers fans.
Yeah.
Because I kept thinking that the whole game. I was like, it's the unstoppable force versus the immovable object, because we're the Mets. But the Brewers at this point are the Twins. They're just they're the NL Twins. Like, you make it every time, and you're just gonna fall apart and not get it done. And so if the tables were turned and we lost that way, I probably wouldn't be right for like a month, a year, a life. So I genuinely mean, I'm sorry it had to happen that way, because I can understand how painful that would be.
The manager did the post conference press conference, and he was like, "That's just the Mets." He's like, he's like, "That's not us." He's like, "That's like they have 3 superstars, and all 3 superstars did exactly what they had to do in the exact moment they needed to do it." And there's nothing else I could say about it. He goes, 9 out of 9, 10 out of 10 times I'm put in the same exact situation. It was set up perfectly, and it's just like, that's baseball, Susan.
Yeah, again, this is
all season, and they were in first place for like 124 straight days in Central, and it's just like, maybe you need a little adversity.
It doesn't mean anything. Like,
it really doesn't.
Proving it out now. It's been a couple seasons. It's like the 6th seed is now rolling, and and it's the Tigers are doing it in the AL. There's a lot of fate rolling around here, and it really is like, that's baseball, Susan. And it's just like the fact that the batting order was at that point. Like, if it's 6, 7, 8 up in that inning, like, it all goes to shit. But Lindor gets his chance, and he fucking works a walk, and like, it's a script, dude. It's fucking. It's Angels in the outfield. It's Major League. It is a Disney movie at this point. And, we just never, ever have experienced anything like that.
My wife hasn't experienced me watching it either.
Yeah.
She's like, when was the last time they were like doing this well? And I'm like, 2015. She's like, oh, that's almost 10 years ago. And I was like, fuck, you're
goddamn right.
And then she's like, this is pretty exciting. By the end of the game, Pete drops the ball. She's like, are you fucking kidding me?
It's always it's like, if you meet somebody, if you're a Mets fan and you meet somebody during the down years, they don't know you. They don't know that side of you,
It's Putty from Seinfeld coming with the full devil mask out.
Yeah, this
exactly
is it.
What it is. It's just like, something
you
comes
signed
out
up for.
You can casually watch 162 games, get a little pissed here and there. One game, it's just one of one. That's it. There's no stops.
Yeah, there's no, it's almost like you almost really like shouldn't marry someone until they've seen you in an elimination game situation. Because until that moment, you don't know every side of me, baby. You don't know what it's like. And like, they're trying to console you when it's going bad or whatever. And it's like, get away from me. You become a fucking monster. You wouldn't like me when the Mets are down. Yes. Oh my God. So, I mean, everyone was so terrible. Otherwise, I can't even give any other shout outs. Like, there was nothing else. They all were pressing. They all were making Tobias look like a fucking Hall of Famer. They were about to just go out so lifeless, but I gotta get, obviously, but you gotta give this one to Pete Alonso, who he's homegrown. He's the polar bear. And I know that we put the bar so high because of his rookie year, and it became like anything less than 50 home runs, we're now not impressed. And if you're not our Aaron Judge, we're not impressed. And then he started to slump, like, for real. And it was like, okay, maybe you're not the guy we thought you were. And then he bet on himself during the contract year, and it did not work. Yep. And you start to feel bad for him, but then you start to get mad at him. And like, I'm thinking to myself, this is the last we're going to see of Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that it didn't work out. And I'm thinking to myself, he's going to go hit several hundred home runs for someone else. And I don't love that. And then, how sad would it have been if he just went down swinging at another, he was swinging at balls in the dirt, reaching for shit, where it was just like, this man is pressing so hard. And that was going to be the final thing we saw from a guy who I had hopes he was going to be a David Wright. I had hopes he was going to break all the records. He basically already has. And it was going to just end so poorly and sadly. Mm-hmm. And now I think it turns all the way around. Like, I don't know, even let's say he continues to slump, I still feel like that one home run makes the Mets up their offer a little bit. He comes down a little bit, and we do this dance again because it's just too special of a moment. You can't just like go to fucking the Rangers. You can't just like go to the Anaheim Angels after that. You got a taste of that. Now you want it all.
Yep. It's also everybody under the microscope of being you are the power threat in the lineup. Like it shouldn't be Francisco Lindor in the leadoff.
Right.
We've had him batting fourth all season long, and then it just so happens we drop you down to 6, and then for whatever the reason, Mendoza wakes up today and goes, you know what? I'm going to put him back in.
Let's move back up.
Like
Crazy.
that is the difference in the ball game, and
Yep.
like it's just shit like that where Mendoza. You have one manager who's complete analytics in the Brewers, paint by numbers, fucking pulling the guy at 66 pitches, and then Mendoza just going,
I don't know.
He'll see a better pitch if he's back.
And you know, I don't know if it was you. I think maybe Clem said it in the group chat today when the lineup came out. He was like, "This is the World Series lineup. Like this is the lineup you want to see. It's everybody in their spot. If they're performing well, up to their potential, that lineup is dirty and nasty." And maybe that's what he said. Maybe Mendoza was thinking to himself, like, this is the dream lineup if everyone's playing well. So let's ride with the ones who got you here. Let's put it up the right way. And then like if there's one extra hit in the 4th inning and the lineup doesn't turn over the right way and it doesn't add up to the 9th inning and it's, Alvarez up in that spot or some shit, like it's fucking destiny.
That's the moment he goes to bed the night before losing sleep over and just playing in his head of I'm struggling and what if it comes down to me? And like that's like it'll be a Gatorade commercial. Like shit like that. Yes. They go on and do whatever they need to do. Like it's insane.
Just dropped the ball. So I've just dropped the ball and by the way, that fan pushing through the net was I don't know what the rules are, but it's like that feels a little interference-ish to me.
Yeah.
But like and you know what, like his post-game comments last night when they were like, "How are you feeling?" He was like, "I feel good. Like I'm taking good swings, I'm getting good cuts, and I think and it's like enough with the lip service. All I wanted him to hear was him say, I fucking suck and it's killing me and I know it's killing you and I'm sorry. And he's giving the blah answers and he's playing the blah game. And then it turns into the like rounded first base. Like, it's a life-changing moment for that guy and for us. It's insane.
No words. Like that's
there's 3 words, bro. Gotta believe.